having tables brought something to mind. It's one of our members that has been doing it for quite a while, and she gets some people to come over the table. Her question is, do you care about climate change?
Terrible question. That's a yes or a no.
Right, so the people that come over the table are the only ones that come to the table, the ones that care about climate change. Well,
right.
We're talking to the other people too. So I'm always thinking, what's a better question? Do you care about your children's future? Like, this is where it's like, I can hear you, you have to think.
But that's still too broad-based. It's like, so look, there's books like Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's the greatest sales book ever written on the planet. It teaches the principles of focusing on the other person. The problem is it doesn't teach any questions. That's why everyone who reads that book asks this question: how can I help you? It's like, it's robotic. We've become too alien, all right? It's like if you take Advil every day, it loses its effect. If you drink coffee every day, it loses its effect. So that's why I said that you have to do things that are a little bit different in what I call garnering understanding, all right? A great way is, am I having a natural thought here? Or have you ever had a conversation with someone where you've left it being like, damn it, I wish I would have, could have. Has that ever happened for you? Person in front of me, yeah. Okay, so if you see me do this, it just means I'm just trying to think to make sure that I don't leave that way. Is that fair? Fair. All right, I get upgrades on airplanes, and I'm going to play something for you guys that I don't usually play, that you get to listen to this. No one else has heard this. Hey, man. Oh, good. I can tell I got really lucky getting you. What's your name, mate?
My name's Zach.
Zach, you seem like someone where you love making people happy.
Yeah, that's
when
what
they
I'm
come
here
up to
for.
you. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, then you appreciate. I love it. And it happened last time I came to California. When people like yourself get me a free upgrade. It's a fantastic thing when that happens, Zach. Okay, so I don't know if you heard that, but I'll just repeat it so you understand. I'm going up to someone in customer service. What do they want, ideally? Happy customer. All right, I'm bringing up to them first before they. Look, I can just tell I got lucky. All right, you just seem like the kind of person you just want to make everyone happy when they come up to you. Am I correct? Yeah. All right, great, then you'll appreciate me. And then I use group psychology, so it's not the first time. Last time I came here to California, I came up to someone and they gave me a free upgrade. And he started laughing. It's predictability. Here's what I'm not doing. Excuse me, it's not the if you don't ask, you don't get mentality. Excuse me, is there any chance of getting an upgrade? He could say yes, great, but he can also say no. What customer service person would say, hey, I can't help but noticing you just look like you just love putting the best smile on someone's face when they come up to you. All right, what do you think they're going to say? No, I hate doing that. They're going to say, oh my God, what can I do for you? And women, my ex-wife, I get to thank for this. She would ask this question of me, and that's why I say it doesn't matter what the scenario. She would go, honey, how much do you love me right now? Now that is a question, and it's an evil question because it always gets this response. What do you want? What if you said to someone, hey, I can just tell by looking at you, you are a terrific, stellar individual, my friend. I can just absolutely tell. Who can clearly see you're going to have a better conversation by prefacing in that way? Do you know what? I can just tell by looking at you, I've got the right person, all right? And then go ahead.
So, like when we've tabled before, sometimes we have very contrarian people that come up. We do not really know, thank you. Like, would you lead with like something that's positive?
Do you know what I would say? You've got to be genuine. People love praise. One thing Dale Carnegie teaches in his book is praise. How many of you have ever been given a compliment before? How do you feel about it? Good. Praise them. If I was you and I'm behind a table and someone comes up contrarian, oh my God, I love you so much. Like genuinely, well done. Listen, the people who come up to me where they're already like bought and sold into this concept, I'm only taking them this distance. I love you because I get to take you from here to all the way over here. I get to feel like I make such a difference. Hey, have you ever been given advice before? Have you ever had like so much conviction around a topic, like you had so much conviction and then you heard something, just a little difference, and it gave you a greater perspective? Like, have you ever has that ever happened to you?
It happened to me today.
No, but do you see where I'm going? No, thank you. But like my point is, you use that. I would be saying that kind of thing too. So I would genuinely be like, well done. Any one of you asks me a question or does something that I happen to be someone, I might be sick in the head, but I like a challenge. I don't want every situation to go completely like this. I want you to know that if you face an objection, someone says, Jamie, I think you're expensive. Doesn't happen. It won't happen because on purpose, I'm asking what value do you place on it before I even get there. Jamie, how much? If one of you said to me at the beginning, Jamie, how much is your training? I'll be like, absolutely, I'll get there. Just real quick. Do you care just about the price, or do you actually care about the caliber of the things you're going to learn? All right, I'm steering that conversation where the right person's going to say, I care about the caliber of the things you're going to learn. If they say just price, I'd be like, nah, you're not my person. It'd be the same equivalent climate change. Hey, do you care just about this, or do you actually give any thought process to this? I care just about this. Okay, I'm out. You shouldn't have to turn a round peg into a square hole. But if you can accept a challenge and say, hey, look, and do the play I just did where you're like, have you ever had so much conviction on something and you read a book or you've learned something and you change your mind on it? Has that ever happened for you in the history of life? Has that ever happened? If they say no, they're telling you they're narcissistic, way too much ego, and you don't want to be around that person. Sorry, how many, let's be honest here. How many of you have had conviction in a belief and it has changed? Okay, look at the room. Every hand went up. So if someone is not prepared to answer that question that way, it's like,
Of course, he doesn't want to go for me.
All right. Look, when people go networking, I'm here to try and help you sell the right thing at the right time, too. You can't tell someone in a minute everything. Like when you go for your job, like when Mira's working a job and she goes networking, all right? Realtors go networking, or different people go networking, all right? What do? Everyone comes up with I'm a realtor, all right? Or they'll try and be clever, be like, I help people build generational wealth. And I'll say, have you ever actually done that? They're like, no, I just think it sounds very professional to say that. If someone comes up to you, what do? The first thing out of my mouth is, oh, that's an interesting question. They will smile. It creates predictability. For some reason, my clients have said what I do is so important. And now I throw out a question, would you say your ability to communicate is important? What does everyone in the world say to me? Yeah, humor me. Why? And now they're telling me what? I'm like, the irony, I haven't shared anything that I do for a living, yet you, my friend, my new friend, you really value it. I teach people how to communicate. Tell you what, let's say I knew things factually. Let's say I did, not fictional. Factually, I knew things that you didn't around communication. Would that at least make me someone beneficial to meet with next week? Okay, I didn't know if I was going to teach this tonight. Actually, I will do. I've got a slide. I'm going to run through it. By the way, what, why, how I helped a client get a date using what, why, how. What I did on Mira, all right, just so you can see. If you could pick one characteristic that you want, remember to not use the word need, but everyone will do the word want. So this is perfect, it's robotic almost. If you could pick one characteristic that you want when choosing to go on a date with someone, what would it be? Young lady said chivalry. My client said, with my help, I believe chivalry is important. Why did you pick that characteristic? She goes, it shows how someone will treat you, and frankly, there are not too many men with that. So my client, with my help, goes, so if I'm able to illustrate chivalry is important in the way I treat someone, would you be up for meeting up? The feeling part, the how part, would that feel like you met someone rare? She goes, I like response. The answer is yes. So my client got a date. Did he tell her anything about himself? No. What is one thing important to you? Why did you pick that? How would it feel? Can you guys do this with climate change? What would be one thing you think you could do that could make all the difference in the world? If it was just one. Right, and you could do groups like, some people think it's recycling. Do you see where I'm going? Like what is one thing? All right, make it about a family. Do you have a family member who you absolutely adore and love, and they like to help the climate? Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, you can make it about someone that they love and care about and respect. Okay, do you think they're completely doolally, or do you actually like being around this person? What's the story there? No, I love them. Why? And now they're telling me about that life, and I'm relating it to something in their life. The one-off question, just so you know, do any of you remember the second question that I asked you guys? You're going to love this, by the way. Just turn around to people, hey, before I share anything, what benefits would you come up with for being more involved in the XYZ? That would be a good, hey, before I share anything, what benefits would you come up with for being more involved? It's not a yes or a no, yes. Like they can't just, it's not a yes or a no answer. It's a benefit. I had a client text a girl, what would you say the benefits would be for you to come and see me? If you could share, she drove 2.5 hours because she texted him 5 things. He goes, I agree with everything you just shared. Right-hand side, a client got a woman to write a whole essay of benefits to go on a date with him. Right, based on just texting the words, what would you say the benefits would be? You're asking what's in it for them. You're not telling them what's in it for them. This should be can we all agree you're not starting your conversations asking what's in it for them?
I've got a great illustration.
Go ahead.
When I was talking to Rita earlier, and I was talking to her about the benefits of conserving energy in her home and maybe switching to more energy efficient appliances. And she's just like going, yeah. And my inclination was, when she didn't say anything, to say more things instead of asking, what benefits is any of this you see it for you?
Actually, that leads, again, I can't teach everything, but I will tell you this. If you ever find that you catch yourself talking too much, like you're so passionate, you're oversharing, imagine you've got a mini version of yourself on your shoulder and it whispers in your ear, you're talking too much. And turn around to them and make it about them. Have you ever had a time in your life you were passionate about something and you found you can talk about it quite a bit? What is someone going to say to you? Even an introvert can be passionate about things. Yeah, I just caught myself, and then you transition, I just caught myself doing that. Hey, what was one thing I just shared that stood out positively? If they say to you, I love everything you just shared, here's what they're telling you. I wasn't paying attention to anything you were sharing. If they say, I love when you share, if you would have said, Rita, hey, have you ever been passionate about something? You find you can talk about it. She goes, yeah, I just caught myself doing that. What was one thing I shared about this that stood out to you? She would then have to answer. The second she answers, you can then say, and ask, why did you pick that? And now it evokes more emotion in that conversation. So if you catch yourself talking too much, just make it about the other person. Have you ever found yourself passionate? You can talk about it. Humanize yourself in garnering that understanding. And then you get to say what was one thing that did stand out. They tell you. If they say they love everything, I promise you, you will thank yourself that you stopped talking because they weren't listening anyway. It's important that you're authentic. You can't be scripted. All right. Too many people in the world, they go, we want you to be authentic. Here's a script. I'm like, can you pick one? All right. Because it's not, be your glorious selves. You do not need to adopt a British accent or say anything word for word. You just have to go in with a conversation. If you go into more conversations just with the words, I agree with you, I can promise you, you'll have better conversations going forward. If you go into conversations just, I agree with you, and I know I have to ask a question here. Right? But humanize yourself. Be like, hey, are you feeling like you've always been perfect in any conversation you've had? Or have you ever had a conversation whereby you felt like it could have gone better? That's a nice starting point. You're, again, garnering understanding. Mary, you look a bit perplexed. What's...
I'm trying to apply to a situation I have at work. I was thinking.
I help people get raises at work, so there you go. All right. If you're ever sitting now, I'm betting that, have any of you ever sent out an email on climate change to anyone? Okay. I'm betting if I read through it, it would be way too long. It takes me 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and I'll bet if I read through it, there's not a question of what you're looking for someone to do next. And it probably has the words in there, I want, or I would like the opportunity. You're going to see me have a slide in this. The only words I remove from my vocab, I'll never say unless I'm teaching people to not say it, are the words I want. All right, I don't know about you, Rita, but my daughter Ruby came up to me at 8 years of age and goes, Dad, I want a cell phone. And I said, no, Ruby, your brother didn't get one until he was 12. Now, if you want to know the importance of communication and conversations and questions, What if she would have started with the question, Dad, do you care about my safety? Who's clearly seeing she's going to, what if she knows how to evoke emotion? What if I go, yes, honey? What if she goes, why? I'll be like, well, I'd kill some of my bare hands. You're my unicorn princess. Dad, what if she knew what, why, how? How would it feel, Dad, to know that I'm safe at all times and my whereabouts at all times? What if I gave her an objection? Very clever, Ruby, you're not getting a cell phone. What if she goes, I'm confused? Uh-huh. Is it okay if I share something with you, Dad? Uh-huh. Go on. There was this really strange man at the school the other day. He was freaking my friends and I out a bit. Who sees she's getting a cell phone before I go to bed that night? But she's not getting one if she comes up to me and says, I want. If you're sending out an email, I promise you, if they're too wordy, how many of you, like me, do not like long emails from people that you, okay, promise you most of them are very long. They don't have a question in there. They don't have any group psychology in there. And here's what they've also done. Changing out just name of recipient. How many of you realize when someone's just changing out name of the recipient and you're just like, LinkedIn, thank you for the connection. Great, when are you going to try and sell me something? You'll get way more business for yourself and way more impact through a Facebook for climate change than you ever will through a LinkedIn. All right, and LinkedIn, everyone's immune. Everything's a sale. Thank you for the connection. All right. The more quality, go quality over quantity. Customize yourself. Find something complimentary you can say about the person to then set them up for a phone. An email should just sell a phone call. A phone call, can I get someone virtually or face to face in front of me? Those are the only things you're selling. But that's going to be a question of benefit for the other person, not you saying, I want. And that's where, remove the words I want. If you want a different way, you want to use words like this. So if I wrote to you on LinkedIn or wherever, I'll be like, hey, let's say I've been told I'm more than just a fancy accent, which I know would mean you're going to go to view my profile. What's he talking about? Fancy accent, all right? Let's say I'm more than just a fancy accent and I can help you with this. Would that at least be worth a quick phone call? Question mark. Cheers, Jamie. My response rate goes way higher than I would like, and I can see the nods of the heads to see the difference on that. Another 4 words that I learned from my ex-wife. Again, not everything I teach came from professional sales training. It's a lot of psychology. No one in the world wants to be sold. No one in the world wants to be sold. If you can get them to see that they would be doing the same thing as you if they were, all right, if they were in your shoes, they won't feel sold. And it's based around 4 glorious words, if you were me. And here's how I learned it. True story. My ex-wife was not very good at saying the word sorry, all right? But very rare as a man are we ever in the right, but once in a blue moon, all right, we're in the right in terms of she did something. But it's the approach in communication. If I ever go, Rachel, I cannot believe that you did X, she'd never ever say, I'm sorry, you feel that way. But when I'd go away and come back, I'd be like, you know, I thought about it. If I would have done the same thing, you would have been a bit furious. She goes, well, when you put it that way, you're right, I'm sorry. I'm like, huh. So now in every conversation I go into, I start with the words, if you were me. It's better to start that way. Hey, if you were me and you thought you could make a difference in the world, would you be wanting other people to know about it? No. Like, do you see where I'm going with, like, so just start with if you were me. Not I want to make a change. Be like, look, if you were me, just entertain this for a moment. If you were me and you knew categorically you could make a real difference in the world, is that something you would be wanting to share with others? The person in front of you is going to go, yes. If you nod your head as they're doing it, you could even call them out. I can see the fact you're nodding your head, you're in agreement. What is one thing that you could be doing that you think could change the world from a climate perspective or whatever you want to call it, but it starts your communication with if you were me. Look, watch this, how easy this is for me. If you were me, you're invited by Jeff to talk to some lovely people, would you be wanting to have them share with others? This guy, Jamie, is legitimate and he could teach you a lot of different things. Is that a natural want? Yeah, okay. Who is one person that you have in your mind right now, Mira, that you could think of that would benefit from learning from me?
My dad.
Your dad? Do you love your dad?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Am I gathering information right now? Do you see what okay, what does your dad do for a living?
He works for UCF and his team. His team UCF.
Okay, cool. I love it. Now I can build a report. I played soccer at Rollins. And I've got some friends who played soccer at UCF. I love that. I've started playing pickleball, but that's not the same as tennis. I get it. Now I get laughter. Is humor something good that you can, am I a stand-up comedian? No, but I can interject even humor. How old are you, Mira? 24. Okay, I can interject humor as a 47-year-old with a 24-year-old. I am very hip and cool though, right? Like, cool, like, no. But, okay. So, and are you, now watch this. Watch where I take this. Are you being genuine when you say that about me helping your dad? So you love your dad and you believe I could help your dad. So what is a great action that you could do tonight when it comes to your dad?
I could tell him about some of the things I learned here.
Okay, what else could you do with regards to me for your dad?
I could tell him what a great speaker he is, or
Okay. Would you say it would be a good idea to connect the two of us? Sure. Do you know, this is good. This is a challenge. There's not the answer. Do you see where I'm going? You're not always going to get the answer, so you have to maybe go a little bit fishing. Would it be a good idea for me to give you my cell and you have your dad reach out to me? Like it's a question. It's not, I want to talk to your dad. It's, I asked her, is there someone in your life? I just do the same plays that you guys can do. I'm looking to get, I'm going to get to where I'm going to open it up to questions you guys have. This will help you. You cannot teach everyone about climate change within a minute and 15 seconds of meeting someone. You can't do it, okay? Can we all agree with that? It's impossible. Okay, so what do you need with someone? Time, right? To share a message? Okay. If you ask someone in the world, this is a question, do you have time for a meeting? What does everyone in the world going to answer to that? Do you have time? No, I'm binge watching this show on Netflix. I'm taking my dog Bruce to the dog park. I'm doing so many things are more important than saving the entire planet than having time with you. So you want to incorporate consciously the words at least into your dialogue with another human being. Maria, let's say there's something I can't teach in the next 5 minutes or today in general. And let's say it could absolutely dramatically help you do anything you want in life based on how you communicate. Would that be at least worth 30 minutes? Yeah. Okay, I turn a no into a yes, just using the words at least. Hey, let's say there was something dramatically that you could do that could improve the entire world. Would that at least be worth an hour of your time? It's very difficult for someone to be, here's other words I didn't know I was going to teach tonight. Would you be so kind? Like, it's so, like, if Chris's phone went off again, he is a nice person, but what if he was one of those people I just don't care kind of thing? One thing, if I get aggressive as a speaker, mate, turn your phone, like, which happen, I've seen, like, especially male speakers, turn the cell phone off, it's rude, hey, security, like, whatever, like, get him out of here. Here's what people in the room, they look at, like, what's the deal with this speaker? That's pretty aggressive, like, kind of, so here's what, hey, would you be so kind as to turn that off? The words, would you be so kind? It's very difficult to say no to someone. When you say that, consciously use the words, would you be so kind? Do you see how that, would you be so kind as to, if you were to say, hey, would you be so kind as to just come with me just real quick, show you something, and then if you don't like it, you're free to go, yeah, I think you're going to love it. And I'm going to teach the word yet. I call it the sweetest little word, consciously to use. Halfway through a meeting with someone, have you heard everything you need to hear yet to make that difference? If they say no, it doesn't end your dialogue. If they say yes, terrific, I'll help you out with this. If they say no, what would be something you would absolutely have to hear right now so that you can feel that or believe that? Now, it doesn't end your dialogue. The other thing is, if you ever say to yourself, talk, I've not reached my goals for 2024, very negative statement to make. Add the word yet on the end and see how quickly your psyche changes around it. And then the third reason is because the word but, no one likes it. No one's offended by the word yet, so just substitute the word but for the word yet, and you'll confuse people. I feel like there's a but coming, yet, like, and you'll better off. And I'm going to finish just tonight. I'm going to open it up if you guys have questions. The word believe is the most powerful word in sales that you have to consciously use when you're talking to someone. Okay? Do you believe you can make a difference? I will turn around to a room of people at this on Friday. I'm going to be, when this slides up, I'm going to be like, guys, believe is the most powerful word in the planet. All right? People will go to a place of worship every week based on their beliefs. People will go and spend fortunes to go to college, like Rollins, 300 grand for a liberal arts education, based on a story they've told themselves that they believe that when they get out, they're set up for life. Okay? Hey, just show of hands. Genuinely, who believes that I can help you communicate more effectively and make way more money? Show of hand. Raise your hand. Look around. All right, if your hand is up, then other hands go up because they see hands up. I'll be like, what action should you guys take when my cell phone number goes up on the screen? And they're like, text you. I'm like, great, I agree with you. And then the room laughs. Do you see where I'm going with it? It's a predictable action, but you have to use the word believe. One of my clients put the word believe on the, he sent me a Ted Lasso sticker with the word believe. You have to consciously use it. My whole business, by the way, if you were to look me up 3 years ago, no website. If you were to look like it, my whole business, no, I don't have a business plan, never had a business card. My whole business is based on 3 questions. Do I believe in myself? Yes. Can I get someone else to believe I can help them? Yes. Can I get them to place a high value on what I bring them? You have those 3 things, you can have a business. This is the only country in the world where I believe you can have the opportunities to do something like that, but you do not have to be well known. How many of you do not know Jamie Miller before tonight at all? Right, I'm a complete nobody. Yeah, if I share with you what I can have the potential of making year on year, it'll be proof you do not have to be anybody massive in the climate change world to make a difference and get other people at it, is what I'm trying to share with you. You do not have to do paid marketing to get people at it. I would share with you to focus on the quality of the conversations when you get in front of someone, and you stay away from asking questions that you know are just too bland. If you want to give yourself permission, be like, hey, if I was trying to come up with the most amazing question on the planet, all right now to you, rather than it seem robotic, all right, would I be nuts to be thinking we can indeed improve what's going on the planet, or am I completely a lunatic? All right, and then let the conversation go from there. Do the play where you use body language. Hey, have you found that industry like has dramatically have you ever studied anything industrial, like the train tracks and stuff? Like, would you feel like that much difference? Or have you ever had a conversation with, are your grandparents alive? Do you know what I mean? Like, and now you're having a conversation. Do you remember the conversation when they're talking about, I remember back in the day when there was only one stop sign in the whole of Winter Park. Who's had conversations with people where they say the town has changed and more people move? Okay, you've all had those conversations. Start there. Do you understand? You don't have to start with, hi, I'm talking about climate change right now. All right, it's too direct, aggressive. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like if someone comes, and I always go multiple choice. Just out of curiosity, was that great for you guys? Like, what was one thing that stood out for you positively?
I think your lead-in questions are so different than how we would approach, or I would approach, something. I think I would always automatically ask a question that would lead to yes, no, thank you, or something like that. But asking them something where they're talking, I don't know if my brain thinks like that necessarily, so I feel like it would take practice.
Okay.
Because it feels like a lot of what you're saying.
If I've taught you something and you like it, if you want to get better at it, I promise you, teach it to another human being. You will be terrible at teaching it at first, but every time you teach the next person, you will get better and better at teaching it, and then it will become more second nature to you going forward. Another thing that you'll want to do is, if you're approaching people, part of the garnering understanding, and again, I'm trying to make it relatable, but if I'm going to someone who is really successful, runs a company, all right, Could you imagine, I'm not the first person that's tried to sell them something. Do you understand? They've been through this glorious thing called life, all right? They own the business, they make millions of dollars, and then there's me approaching them. All right, if you start with, like, I'm not gonna try and sell you something, I know that they're like, you're trying. If I just start asking them questions, they're gonna be in their head, this British guy doesn't think I know what he's doing right now. Again, a negative. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn around to him and be like, hey, look, first off, well done on getting to where you've got in life. You don't get there not knowing what's going. Just so you're aware, I'm here more than 100% today to win your business. And you being you, you're going to know exactly not only the questions I'm asking you, you're going to know why I'm about to ask you them. Can we do each other one favor? What's that? Can we just be genuine in our responses so we both sleep tonight peacefully? Is that fair? Yes. And then I shake his hand on that. So I'm basically taking all the resistance of the sale out of the sale by telling him I'm there to win the business and I'm going to ask questions. So let's say you're feeling a certain way in front of someone. You're about to, this feels like an interrogation. I would tell someone, hey, look, have you ever felt like you could get in front of someone and make a difference, and you felt like if you asked the right questions of that person, it could indeed make a difference? Great. So I am going to ask some questions. Can we just be genuine in our responses? Is that cool? Yes. That might be a nice lead into someone if you know you're going to lay the questions or you're not comfortable. Another thing you can do is, one of my clients said, Jamie, that was a great question. I don't think I'll be comfortable asking it. I said, that's perfect. He goes, what do you mean that's perfect? I just told you I wouldn't be comfortable. I said, share how you feel before you ask the questions. All right, like, so I've got a realtor as a client. He's Emmanuel, he's 74 now, he's 71 at the time. He goes, he was one, I said, give me an example. So you're at a listing in front of the seller, be like, excuse me, young man, I'm 71 years young. And there's a question my former self I would never have been comfortable in a million years asking, yet given the situation, I feel like it's pretty pertinent. So here's my attempt at asking you the question. He goes, oh, I love that. So if you're feeling a certain way, like, or you're not comfortable, be like, have you ever had to learn something and try and get comfortable at doing something? Have you ever heard that the magic happens outside the comfort zone? Is that something you're familiar with? Okay, well, you're going to appreciate me. This is me getting a bit out of my comfort zone. Now, who can see you're going to be less nervous about the next part of your conversation? It's called humanizing yourself to someone else. If someone came up to me networking and be like, hey, are you nervous here tonight? I'm going to be like, no. But what if they say, change it? Have you ever been nervous? Now I'm like, yeah, I've been nervous. Again, only a lunatic that you do not want to be around, which they do exist, by the way, would say that they've never been nervous. Was that helpful? Okay. Anything? Go ahead, Jeff.
One of the things that I do as recruiting new members is when somebody signs up on the website, and I get their name, and I send them a short text message.
Right.
Nice and short, like you were saying. Thanks for signing up. Would you have 10 or 15 minutes for a phone call to talk about the opportunities that Citizens Climate Lobby may have that fit your whatever skills?
Right.
Let me know a date and a time and I'll give you a call.
Right.
I'm always thinking of a better way to say that. I get about a 50% response rate, you know, and it's like, well, you signed up. Wouldn't 100% of the people that signed up want to talk about what they can do? You know, I find all kinds of reasons why they might not. I mean, maybe they signed up for 3 different groups on the same day and they're just fishing. Of course, there could be a lot of possibilities, but I'm just trying to think, is there a better way that I could say?
Okay, so there's 2 approaches. So one, I'm going to share with you what comes to my mind so you can see what happens sometimes, because there's nothing stranger than people sometimes. What do I mean by that? Like, some people will go and proactively reach out to you. You haven't reached out to them. And have any of you ever heard of the term ghosting?
Yes.
Have any of you been ghosted? Sucks, right? Okay. So part of what I do when I'm networking, when I'm like someone goes, what do you do? And I get them through my spiel. I'll be like, they're like, I don't collect business cards. Why? Because they get thrown away and it's not giving out business card candy. So, hey, would it at least be worth a meeting? Yeah. Hey, do you know what? Technology's amazing, isn't it? Like, like cell phones these days, like, I found, have you ever been to one of these meetings and then you have to, like, we have to send a glorious email, like, we met here, and then it's like this, like, have you ever been ghosted? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, tell you what, let's make sure that doesn't happen. My treat, have you ever been to Tutor Cafe in Baldwin Park yet? No, my treat, if you don't drink, I drink coffee, proud American, yay, they laugh. And then I'm like, tell you what, my treat, how does your next Tuesday look? If it goes in my calendar, those events happen. And like, they get their cell phone out. I book the meeting there and then, so that if the meeting doesn't happen, they have to do the courtesy of reaching out to me to tell me that they can't meet. I'm not chasing them for business. Now, as a gentleman, all right, won't give, just no names necessary. Hey Jamie, I'd be interested in learning more about your communication education workshop. My wife and I are leading realtors in Orlando, ranked 19th in 2021, 66th in 2022 in sales out of 24,000 realtors in the 5-county area, always looking to improve. Do you think this is someone who's trying to talk themselves up a bit before? So I said, hey, so-and-so, sounds like your wife and yourself are doing great. Praise on purpose, all right? Since you're interested in learning more, right, because he wrote the words, I would be interested in learning more. Since you're interested in learning more, using the same words, and always looking to improve, all right, his words, I said, would it be a good thing for us to get on a call this week, question mark. I thought, because all I'm selling him is, can I take it from private message to a phone call? I'm not telling him what an amateur would do. Yeah, I can help you with all this. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping something to read. I didn't hear back from the guy. So here's what I next wrote to him. Hey, Michael, if you were me and someone reached out, would you be curious to know if there's still an interest to at least get on a call? Here's myself immediately. Sorry for not responding. I'm free anytime tomorrow. Let me know what time is convenient.
There's the thought.
Do you see like, you reach out to someone, they don't reach out back to you.
Right.
You just say, hey, just real quick, if you and me, someone went to your glorious website, they filled out something, would you be thinking it's at least beneficial to get on a phone call? Question mark. Or am I completely nuts and missing something? Question mark. You'll end up getting I'm sorry, like I've got clients where I've actually got a recording. Slide 117 on my curriculum is a recording of a client of mine that I'm not meant to have, where a woman called him back after hanging up on him, and he left a message saying, hey, I get that you think I'm just some probably salesperson calling you, like there was something I didn't get a chance to share with you yet. All right, and da-da-da-da-da, like if you were me and you were, would you be curious to know da-da-da? She calls back, hey, I'm so sorry, I was running late for a meeting, thank you for calling, she swore, thank you for calling me, whatever, right, please give me another chance whenever you decide.
Yeah, I like the part that at the end where you say, if you were me, would you be curious? Because you might have an inclination to say something a little more negative, so curious is a nice way to end it.
It's just, if you were me and someone did this, would you be thinking, is it a natural thought to be thinking this, question mark? Or am I completely from Mars, question mark? Like that, they're going to be more inclined to respond to you if they read the questions and be like, yeah, no, if someone, hey, if you create a website platform, people went along there and did this, you know, if you were me, like, would you be wondering, would you, if you knew you could help someone, would you be curious to get on at least a quick phone call? That's the only thing you're selling in that part. One of the other things you could do, which I was realizing, is you could praise them. Seriously, well done on on signing up, like well done. Everyone who signed up has absolutely loved getting on a phone call. They've told me I'm absolutely charming. Do you understand? Okay, I'll watch this. By the way, when they're signing up, are they giving their cell phone number?
Not always.
Okay, but let's say they do. Here's a great sales tip for you guys. Always go with the warmest form of correspondence you possibly can from as quickly as you can. What's your name, madam? Silva? Suvra. Okay, so Suvra, all right, one thing that she did when my cell phone went up, because I saw, all right, if I'm correct, is you took a snapshot of my cell phone, correct? Okay, most speakers, if you ever see a speaker, have you ever seen the speakers? They put a QR code up there, they put what have you up there? Okay, it takes more actions. If one of you texts me, how warm have I made our correspondence? Very quick. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's not go to my website, it's not fill out this form, it's straight to, and I get a red one, and then when I get a text, I get the red one. I can immediately go straight from text to call. Oh, and by the way, how many of you, like me, do not listen to voicemails, even from friends? All right? Watch, so hands go up. I don't. I'll rather just call my friend back rather than listen to the message. And these days, it transcribes, so you just put delete. Do you understand? Like, I'm sharing what I do so you can understand what chance do we have, complete strangers, really caring to listen to our messages. So one thing I'd encourage you to do is what Jeff did. If you really care, and it's not about you. If you're not comfortable at all, don't do it, but I would do this. Hey, you know what? If you're like me, you don't listen to a voicemail. I'm fascinated by the results this gets. You'll probably appreciate, I'm doing this in one take, so you might even hear me and ah if you've ever had to do a video recording, which most people in the world have. So am I humanizing myself across there? Have I said, hi, I'm Jeff with so-and-so? No. Why? Hang up. It's, hey, I love doing this. Every time I do these, people, they at least want to get on a phone call. Since you went there, and I've been told I'm more than just a very good-looking guy, evidently, that you can see that's very charming, all right? Would you see at least a benefit in getting on a quick phone call? Cheers. Oh, by the way, I'm Jeff. Da-da-da-da-da. Cheers. You'll more escalate your chances of getting the response. It's warmer. They can see have a smile on your face when you do it. I had clients where they sent, like as realtors, they got meetings, but the first video they sent me, and like they've got a face like this. I'm like, hey, smile, all right? And they're like, it's more engaging. Have you enjoyed this stuff? I can promise you this stuff. I've tried to bring my best to help you guys make a difference on the planet, all right? And you can thank Jeff for that. That's a compliment to how high a regard I hold Jeff.